Hey everyone, my name is Cam and this is my intro video. So long story short, I am a trans individual currently living in Japan. I am pre-everything and pretty much completely closeted, but I've basically decided that I can't live like that anymore. So I'm taking a lot of steps towards changing my life and finally transitioning, and I figured that I should make a YouTube to share my experience and how things go along the way. So, long story short, I've basically had gender dysphoria issues my entire life. When I was little, I tried really hard to succeed at the gender role that I was assigned, but it didn't really fit. It didn't really make sense to me. It didn't really work. Other genders always made sense to me. Like, there were people who I saw and I was like, oh, they're both, or they're neither, or things like that. Or people who were the opposite of what they were supposed to be. Always completely made sense to me. And I knew what I was supposed to be, so I tried to be that, but I didn't really understand why I was supposed to be that, aside from physical markers, which even that I didn't entirely understand, but that's a completely different story. So around the end of elementary school, I started playing around more with my gender expression. I kind of took control of the way I dressed and the way I acted and things like that, and I started feeling more comfortable, less like I was trying to fit into something that wasn't right. Before that, my entire identity basically revolved around school because I was really good at academics and sports, and that continued after that. But when I was around 11, I started being perceived by some people in public as being male sometimes. Like, they would mistake me for being male, and I was completely cool with that. I felt fine about that. I felt pretty good about that, actually. I didn't really understand why, but I did. So I also, around that age, I had this strange feeling that even though I didn't even know what the term meant, I don't even know how it was in my head, but that I was going to be coming out about something someday. Which, obviously ended up being the case, but that was just some weird thing that was floating around in my head at the time. So I continued to try to be what I was supposed to be for several more years, and I guess I didn't really start accepting my dysphoria and trying to look at ways to resolve it instead of just denying it around university. But that did not go well because I was in a relationship that was not very healthy. Had no support there. I wasn't going to come out to anybody else. And I did go see a therapist at my school who kind of stabbed me in the back. And I saw a psychiatrist who told me that I was being politically incorrect when I referred to myself as queer. So I basically stopped talking to them about anything like that. So I just kept suppressing it from that point on, basically. I kind of just did express to my friends that I felt very androgynous, and I sort of embraced that a little bit in university, but again, it was really, really, really not encouraged by some of the main people in my life at the time, and people kind of just kept treating me the way they felt I should be treated, and treating me as who they thought I was. And I reinforced it because at that time in my life, I said I can't control how other people see me. And I basically let whoever a certain individual was, how they saw me in my eyes, I'm like, okay, whatever, that's who I am to them. And yeah, so that was not good for me. But I didn't really think about it at the time. So after that, I ended up moving to the Republic of Georgia, post-Soviet country, not the state, which I also lived in, but that's where all the other stuff happened. And I was seeing a sexologist there who was actually very good at what she did, but she told me that I shouldn't think about transitioning because of the negative effects that it might have on my life, which is kind of ironic now that I think about all the negative effects that not transitioning has on my life. But I guess she didn't really think about that. And in all honesty, living in that country, it probably would not have been in my best interest. So here I am. We've reached the present. And I've been putting this off for such a long time, thinking, I'll see how I feel in a few years. Like, my body is not who I am. It doesn't matter how other people see me. I need to start taking control of my own identity and not letting other people define me. But it doesn't change anything. I keep finding myself back in the same place. And I'm pretty much back. I'm in a place now where not doing anything is no longer an option. I can't do it. My dysphoria is too bad. It's been with me for too long. I've looked at it from so many different angles. I've thought about all sorts of different things about it, and it's not going away. So, that being said, my gender identity is not completely static. I would say that it fluctuates between feeling as if I'm completely FtM and more non-gender genderqueer. So if you put like female and male on the spectrum, I basically feel like I'm somewhere in between the middle and the male side at all times. So transmasculine is probably a good term to describe me. I don't really feel the need for labels, but they make life easier, helps us grasp abstract concepts. That's why language exists. So as far as pronouns go, male or neutral are preferred, but I'm not going to throw a huge fit if somebody uses the wrong pronoun, even though it does bother me because I have to deal with that every single day. So my challenges at this point in life are very different. I'm older, I know more, I've experienced more. I'm in a fantastic relationship with a girlfriend who completely supports me. I'm not really out to my family. They're still trying to wrap their heads around the fact that I'm only interested in women, which I just sort of revealed less than a year ago. So we'll see how that goes whenever that happens. I tend to spend most of my time away from my family, so I don't really think about that immediately. It won't be a surprise to those of my friends who don't know what I've decided yet. Some of my closest friends already know. And basically, right now, my biggest challenge is the fact that I am living in Japan. I'm working, I have an internship here, and I live with host families until my internship ends. The queer community is incredibly invisible here. And especially to somebody who's not Japanese. Just becoming a part of the community is really difficult here. I have 0 friends. I have made no friends. All of my social life exists completely within my work sphere. And my Japanese isn't fluent yet, especially when it comes to very specialized topics like this. So finding resources has been a huge challenge. I'm currently pursuing getting treatment. I've been looking frantically, doing all sorts of research, trying to find places I can go, trying to find people to connect to and see what they've done. I've gotten in contact with a couple of people in Japan, actually a couple of people who even live in the same city as me. One clinic that I tried to contact told me that they wouldn't see me unless I was planning on getting a surgery with them, which I won't be having surgery in Japan. I've gotten in contact with several clinics at this point. I've emailed a bunch because I can email and write and read in Japanese. That's a lot easier than trying to speak over the phone with somebody who will probably try to speak with me as if I'm a native just because I'm speaking Japanese about something that's pretty tough to explain. So there is a clinic that I'm going to try to visit next week, actually, that gave me a positive email. They pretty much offer everything that I need right now. They offer counseling, and they can prescribe hormones, and they'll give you documents, because a lot of times I'm going to be moving around a lot, and a lot of times you need to have, of course, a letter for this or a letter for that. So they can provide those things. And you don't need an appointment to go in, so if I get a spare moment before work one day next week. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to also supplement with DHT and pumping. I'm probably going to go on a low dose of testosterone, assuming everything goes according to plan, so that I can have basically more control over what's happening. Hormones for now, that's the most important thing. Surgeries are going to be down the line. Top surgery is something that I definitely want. As far as bottom surgery goes, probably just want a simple metoidioplasty. But again, like, if my own comfort with myself improves or changes enough where I feel like I don't need to have something done, I'm not going to have it done. So we'll see what the future holds. I've been watching a lot of guys' YouTube channels over the years, and I'm really happy that I'm finally starting to take some steps on my own journey to becoming like who I actually am, and for everybody else to see who I actually am. So I'm going to share as much of it as I can, especially in case there are other people in the same situation as me, living in Japan and maybe not having any idea what to do and having nobody to help you, because it's really, really hard. So if I have any information that I think is useful, I will definitely share it. I also have a YouTube account mainly for my Japan life, if anybody's interested. I have Tumblr, if anybody's interested. And I will be posting again soon as there are any further developments to report on. I also plan on doing a video with my girlfriend who is in America. So we will try to do a video together using the Google Hangouts feature thing. So if that works, then you can see a video of us talking about kind of what we've been discussing about going into this together, and with somebody who identifies as lesbian and somebody who identifies as trans and all sorts of things. And of course, along the way, as things change, we will discuss that as well. So thank you for watching. I hope that I will be able to provide you with some informative, insightful things in the future. And take care.